Well, hello, and welcome to another awful, uneventful episode of this podcast. And I do a segment called My Boring Weekend. And sometimes, my week's not that boring. I'll hang out with a friend, or I'll have a good time doing some comedy. And I go, this week wasn't that bad. But this week, you want to talk about boring, folks. I mean, my open mic was Monday, and that open mic was actually good. We had a decent turnout. We had 9 comics, and then we had 2 audience members, and then it went up to 4. So not a bad turnout at all, considering the fact that at the beginning of the year, it's been it was really slow. We were getting like 4 or 5 comics. It was getting to the point I was thinking about ending the open mic. So it's gotten a little bit better. Then I started messaging comedians on Facebook. Speaking of comedians, I hate messaging comedians. I hate messaging anybody. But I have to message comedians because I'm putting on a show, another jacked comedy show at the end of the month. And some of these comedians kept telling me maybe, and then everybody has a show that night. And then there's one female comic, and you guys know how I feel about female comics. I mean, I think they mean well, but I don't really care to, ever really. They don't really make me laugh, and I know that sounds mean, but not to say all guy comics are funny, because there's a lot of bad guy comics too. But I messaged like 2 female comics, and one of them wrote me and said I have a show that night, which she probably does. And then the other one was like, well, can you give me some more details? Like, how much does it pay? How much time they're going to do? So I said, yeah, I'll give you $10 if you can do 10 minutes. And then she didn't write me back, which means in her head she probably thought, what? $10? I'm worth way more than $10. And it's like, no offense, you barely do comedy. You only do like 1 open mic somewhere else, and you only go on stage like once every other month. And even if she is funny, it's like you barely do comedy. You probably don't even have 10 minutes of material, so you want more money? So I still got a couple more comics to go. I went in here back from like 4 or 5 people. I had no choice but to message more people. It sucks, but what are you going to do? Then you guys saw I did a stream on WorldStar. I did it on twitch.tv/JoshJack. I put it on YouTube. Didn't get a lot of feedback for it, but I was in the mood. I finally got everything set up. It's a pain in the ass to set all this stuff up, I didn't use the mixer, but still. And then I used a short you guys saw my Neil Diamond short on the Josh Jack channel. It was a bomb, and I decided to put it up because I thought it was funny. And then Tuesday, right after the open mic, I got hit up by the black comic, Sean. If you guys saw him on the JoshCast, the 2 episodes we did, he said, hey, you want to go to the gym? I can get you a guest pass at LA Fitness, and we can do some boxing and some training. And I had nothing to do Tuesday. It was a beautiful day, so I'm like, okay. So I meet him 2:30 at the LA Fitness, and he's got a big bag with him with gloves and stuff. And he goes, I want to see how many push-ups you can do. So I'm like, all right. So I get down and I do some and I can't even do any push-ups. I'm like, dude, I can't do any push-ups. Like, I have these long ostrich arms. I have barely any upper body strength, plus I'm fat. And I'm like falling over the floor. I'm like a slug and stuff. I can barely do 4 or 5 of the worst push-ups you can see. Then he goes, all right, now let's do some squats. And if you've ever done squats before as a fat person, it is fucking painful to your legs and knees because all that weight is on it. So I'm bending down and he's making me hold it. So we do squats and push-ups. I do squats and push-ups. Then we start doing some boxing, and he's like, I want you to try to hit me. So I'm trying to hit him and stuff. And at one point, I did clock him in his nose. He let his guard down, and I got a little nose shot there. But aside from that, I got a great workout. I had sweat coming out of my eyes. But the bad news was the next day, I couldn't get the fuck out of bed. I could barely get my shoes and socks on. I could barely get out of my car. He calls me up. He's like, hey, did you do your squats and push-ups this morning? I'm like, dude, I can barely get out of bed. I'm fucking strained. This shit hurts. And he's like, well, I know you're a little bit sore. I said, a little bit sore? I can fucking barely get up the stairs. And he's like, all right, well, just take a couple days off and get back into it. So he's trying to help me, which I appreciate. It's very nice. But I'm like, I got stuff to do around the house and stuff, and I want to go places, and I can't fucking be, sitting there all fucking strained, Like, I appreciate you helping me, but damn, this shit fucking hurts, man. I'm not a little bit sore here. So I did that on Tuesday, and then I didn't go out all the way till Saturday night. I was going to go out Wednesday to do comedy. I decided, I'm going to stay in. I stayed in Wednesday. Thursday, I was going to go to Cabaret to get some drinks. I stayed in. And then Friday, my stomach was hurting. I was going to go to either Old City or... So finally, I didn't go out all the way till last night. I went to Old City. And man, you want to talk about a boring night. I went to Stowe's, got 2 shots, 2 beers. And then I sat outside for about 40 minutes drinking a bottle of water. It was cold out last night, but I bundled up. And then I went to the Nationals, and I finally found out the bouncer's name. I always call him the Black Asian bouncer. I finally asked him, I said, hey, what's that guy's name that I talked to, that tall? And the guy said, oh, I think his name is Dara. I said, Dara? He goes, yeah, I think. Even he didn't know. I said, even you don't know. He goes, yeah, I don't think anybody knows that guy's name. It's like Dara or something. I'm like, he doesn't look like a Dara at all. I'm like, huh, that's kind of like a chick's name. And I'm like, okay. So he comes in and he's like, hey, what are you doing here? And I told him about the exercise and stuff. And he's like, oh, that's good, man. I'm glad you're trying to work out. And he was going to get me some food for free. He said, I'll get you some food. And I said, nah, I don't want any food. And I was like, because I already had a cheesesteak yesterday. And I was like, I'm going to take a shit. I don't want to take a shit. So I had one beer there. There was a couple girls in there, but, you know, I'm not going to fucking approach no girls anymore, you know? And then I fucking got a slice of barbecue chicken pizza and water. I took a piss in a hostel, and they didn't say anything to me. And there you go, folks. That was my boring week. I did some comedy. It was fun. I got stretched out, and not in a good way. Not in my ass, by the way. And then I went to Old City. It could have been better. Could have did more. But that's that as far as next week goes. I have no idea. I can't promise anything for the channel, but we will see. But I've done enough yapping. I have no life, but I try to talk like... But folks, let's get to the odd news, which is like 40% of this show at this point. A school named after slave descendant finds his biography is inappropriate for students. That's awesome. How border teens in Ellisville, Mississippi filming unnatural acts with dogs bored. I don't know what they're doing with dogs, but as long as there's nothing sexual, then it says, oh, she was. This one was filming sexual acts with an animal. So I don't know if that's being bored. Is that more of being a horny pig? That's called being dog-pilled, by the way. That's the term Smooth Sanchez used to use. One of the world's most cited scientists, Raphael Luick, suspended without pay for 13 years. That's a long time not to pay somebody. Who is he? Melvin from Office Space? Whatever that guy's name is. Teen who laughed when asked for prepared pronouns booted from Pokemon card tournament. Aw, even Pokemons are woke. Pikachu! Squirtle. Filipinos nailed to crosses despite church objection. Australian women sue quarter over forced airport vagina exams. These chicks were in the fucking airport, and this guy was like, excuse me, ladies. Foster, Australian for beer. I'm going to have to search your vaginas because they're looking suspicious. What a bunch of creeps. Foster, Australian for beer. Man shoplifts scooter from Target and assembles it outside the store. He gets arrested. Well, get him a job at Target. Let him learn his lesson. He actually have to work for Target for free, assembling scooters for a whole year. That's good punishment. Naked, greased up Florida man accused of breaking into 2 homes and jumping in the pool. Oh, Florida. Something in the water out there. People are nuts out there. But it makes for the best news stories. Teen lawmaker asks students what gun they're comfortable being shot with. Well, that's a good question. Well, you an M16, silent pistol? You play video games. You tell me. A long doormat lake has reappeared in California, bringing havoc along with it. Kmart delivery blunder leaves shoppers furious. Isn't even funny. Okay, let's see what the blunder is. Now I have to look at it. Damn it. There's nothing worse. Okay, what does it say? Ordered a hula hoop for my children at work. Maybe the poor person was having a bad day. The box showed ribbon, pack of stones. I couldn't figure it out. Holy shit, I never laughed at a parcel. Heated up a hair dryer. Another woman shared what happened to her a few years on Facebook. Okay, so I thought it was like a funny sign or something. I guess not. That was a waste of time. Pet kangaroo missing from family home in Sparta. Newlywed man killed after bride's ex gifts them home music theater system rigged with explosives. Holy shit, that's like some Grand Theft Auto shit. They gave him some a home theater system, but how did they do it? Where the person put the CD on or the DVD on and it blew up? That's the part I want to know. Michigan man charged with assault for allegedly hitting a clerk in the head with a frozen fish. I don't know about you guys. That story sounds kind of fishy. Nah, that's not a good one. All right. Try to force it. Doesn't work. Pretty fucked up. Starbucks rolls out olive oil brews. A giant spoon was taken from an Arizona Dairy Queen found. So someone brought in a giant spoon. Why? So you get the ice cream faster? I don't know. Woman who killed pro-war blogger thought she was auditioning for a journalism job. That's a pretty good excuse. I thought you guys would hire me if I killed them. You cunt. Brevard man wields machete at bar after karaoke request denied. Damn. He really wanted to sing, I don't know. I was trying to think of a joke with a knife in there, but I'm bombing here. Shut up. You do a podcast. See how easy it is, you dopes. A platypus was taken on a train. Sparks Australia police hunt. Falster, Australian for beer. Let me keep saying that. Monster Energy takes indie developer to court for using the word monster and its game title. Damn, you can't even use that. They didn't invent the word monster. Come on now. Naked man found naked with dead deer after stealing a school bus. Is that Tom Green again? Up to his wacky Canadian antics. Father used a cattle prod on his children multiple times for discipline. Damn. Those kids are gonna be fucked up. Diners in Japan arrested for dipping own chopsticks in communal bowl of ginger. Guard gets dragged by a truck by trying to stop a foam carrot thief. That's all, folks. I was trying to think of a joke with carrot. I don't. He felt the slither of venomous snake in the cockpit, then turned the plane around. These goddamn snakes on this fucking plane. Rescuer turned victim by an irritable owl. Thieves steal and mangle and sell for scrap wheelchairs used by disabled Syracuse athletes. That's fucked up, man. That story has a lot of wheels in it. That's not bad. I'm being terrorized by squirrels in my kitchen. This is by BBC.com. It's a white woman. And the 39-year-old gym owner says leaving her... Did she leave her door open? I can't see the story. Oh, yeah. And she said she never imagined squirrels would do this to my home. I tried everything when nothing is working. I feel terrorized by them. I'm terrified to go into my own kitchen. Well, give them some nuts. You don't know squirrels like nuts, don't they? Throw some nuts outside. Laundromat explodes after killing a man after a simple washing mistake. So that's pretty scary. You go to a laundromat, you put in a cycle, and it kills you. Final Destination shit right there. East Hampton superintendent candidate over revoked after addressing the school committee as ladies. I told you, I did a bit of my act. You can't say ladies and gentlemen anymore. That's how PC we've gone, you liberal cunts. A deadly disease so neglected it's not even on the list of neglected tropical diseases. Okay. Shoot them. Chipotle order turns counter after duo demands more cheese. Usually people demand more meat. I'm surprised because Chipotle is very cheap on their meat. And I think that's it. Trump's mugshot replaced t-shirts of revolutionary icon Che Guevara. Portland man laughed manically while chasing pedestrian in a stolen forklift. 4-year-old boy becomes the youngest person to ever publish a book. Yeah, I think that's it, folks. That's it for the show. There's not a lot of topical news this week. I guess because of the holiday, or maybe it's just slow. Well, speaking of slow, this podcast is slow, and it shouldn't be done anymore, but yet it is. But this is the first but yet worst comedy podcast in Philly. It's your favorite podcast that most people will not listen to. And that's it, folks. I'll see you on the next one. Go fuck yourself, Cuffy.